that's coming in, Father, into the city now. We lift up every merchant, oh Father, every family, every outcast, all those exiles, oh Father, that's looking for a home, oh Father. We ask that you draw them here now. So we are preparing the way for you to change lives. We lift up the 7 pennies, oh Father, may you direct your building. We lift up the tithes, oh Father, may you go out and fix what we cannot fix. Let it go out to the kingdom and find the lost, the crippled, the maimed, the lame, the deaf, the blind, families to be reconciled. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. Amen, my giant leg. Amen. Okay. Where's thy Bible? Oh, what's it doing at home? You know, if there's a giant that comes there, he's the only one that's going to fend you off. See, he can only jump so high, and the arrow's going to hit you right in the neck. Right? Yep, I got that. All right. So next week, you remind him the Bible. You remind her the Bible. And then both of you call me. You say, I got the Bible. Okay. You guys have phones? No? Okay. Well, I'll use your mom's and dad's. Okay? All right. Church, reach out your hand. Father, we lift up these giants today, Father. May they forever remember this day that they are a part of your kingdom, Father. That they will grow into disciples. They will grow to bring people to you, Father. Lead them now. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. We have high schoolers, junior high schoolers. Can you pray for these guys? No. It's college.
Let's pray. Okay, Father, send me to bless this way. There's no one to the high school to you right now, Lord. Still in them, your love, Lord. We pray that it will be a model to their friends, their peers, Lord. They'll show your word and your love wherever they go, Lord. Protect them always as they go to school and wherever they go.
Let me have my college. Amen. David, can you pray for these college funds? Got deadline.
Spread the word. Share the love. So focus on you. Allow this world.
All right. Any testimonials? Before later on today, I'm going to ask the college group and the high schoolers. Desha, can you get with them just to give them a heads up on what needs to be done for next week when they take care of the babies after, okay? The kids, okay? No, stay. It's after the service. All right, then I'm going to get together with all the others. I'm going to confirm the ushering. We got 1 week, we got next Sunday, and then this whole place is going to be filled. So let's pray for one another, okay? Because there's going to be many challenges, always does. There's always many challenges before the big event comes, okay? We're going to be preaching. We're going to be preaching to at least 4 or 5 churches. We're going to encourage them to be one body, okay? So if there's any testimonials, come on up here. We got a few minutes. Thank you.
God did some things during the week. I'm getting some things to me. I went to a place where they give out clothes. And I went through, and I was first in line, and I was waiting, and I went through the whole thing. So I got a couple of pages. Everybody was like, "Hey, like this man tonight, and you didn't get anything." I was like, "Don't make that happen." So the next day, I volunteered at another church to do stuff, and some lady shows up with a bag, handed me some new shoes and some other things that were just specifically for me, which was kind of cool. And so that's because I'm in the trial. I like to share things because I'm in the valley of the shadow, because a lot of people go through things, and they wonder if God's going to come through for them. You know, and there is a lot of wondering. After a while, you get more patient. You know, you just know God's going to come through. So, I had a couple of people. I went to another Bible study, and I said, "No, God is setting me upon my high places. He's restoring my life. I'm believing God," because they were kind of shallow. What's your hope in? And I had to tell them, well, my hope's a little higher. It actually has to do with what God has actually said. What are the words? What are the promises in the Bible that God has actually said? So I walk outside, and one of the ladies walks out, and she goes to the rock, and we started talking about things of God. And I told her the same thing. God is restoring my life. He is setting me up on my high place. It's through His power. He's going to do it. Because every leader that He has ever, especially the one that He greatly in the Old and New Testament, He would take them down to the valley before He took them up to the mountain. And during that time, you learn to go dig deep and believe His promises so that He could take you up. And so the next morning, I'm like, okay, so it was my volunteer day, so I'm volunteering down at the church. And a lady comes up to me and says, well, Bethany's coming down, and she wants to ask you some questions. And Bethany is one of the people in charge of looking for my green card. So I was like, what is she going to ask me? Got all the information. So she comes up and she goes, well, would you be happy to get your green card? And she takes it out and she hands it to me. I was like, thank you, Jesus. I've been waiting for this for quite some time. And so the ladies kind of set me up. They went, you know, obviously told each other they all wanted to see my face, how I would react and everything, you know. So it was kind of cool. But I knew God would bring it. It just, you know, sometimes you need a lot of patience. It might be a big trial that you're going through, and you need patience, not just faith. Because if you just have faith, you can get frustrated, and you can walk away from the path that God has you on, and He'll have to go through a lot of trouble to bring you back. Better just to learn and stay patient and just wait on the Lord and trust in Him so that He can bring it, and then you end up with a testimony. So now I have another testimony. So, thank you, Jesus.
Good morning, church. God is good.
All the time.
All the time.
God is good.
Amen. Amen. I just want to thank the Lord. I mean, there's not too much I think else going on, but thank you for I know, He has things planned in place that I don't see. Just thankful for everything that's happening, either struggles to help strengthen me or just the blessings, and just thankful for all the daily things that we take granted for us. Just want to encourage people to just show love, with everything that's going on. What's the point of having knowledge without compassion if we can't relate and help others? So, just thank you again. Amen.
I just want to say thank you for all the birthday blessings. 42. What can I say? 42 and 22, 42 is just a number. But I'm really blessed, for God giving me 42 years of life, and I know He's going to bless me many more. And can't complain. 42, wow. I remember I used to just wear diapers. But
Sometimes you say
I still do. But thanks for all the birthday blessings. Okay? Thank you. Not yet, give me 42. Let me turn 42.
Good morning, church.
Good morning.
Like I was saying last week, when Diane had a meeting to go to, we went to the meeting. And we got some of the information we didn't have. But we have another meeting to go to with them, I think, next week. This week? Yeah. And some of the stuff is pretty easy. Some of the stuff is kind of strange. But one of the problems we was having is, she was saying, well, we will work on it. We wasn't actually labeled homeless. So, but we could work around that somehow. Because, we never got in trouble with the police or anything. So we was never labeled anything, so everything's starting to work out pretty good. So that's morning.
Good morning, church. All right, so today's title is going to be When God Calls You Out. If you guys don't mind, turn to page Nehemiah 8, 9 and 12. It says, Then Nehemiah the governor, Ezra the priest and scribe, and the Levites who were interpreting for the people said to them, Don't mourn or weep on such a day as this. For today is sacred, the day before the Lord your God. For the people had all been weeping as they listened to the words of the law. And Nehemiah continued, Go and celebrate with a feast of rich foods and sweet drinks, and share gifts of food with people who have nothing prepared. This is a sacred day before our Lord. Don't be dejected and sad, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. And the Levites too quieted the people, telling them, Hush, don't weep, for this is a sacred day. So the people went away to eat and drink at a fest meal, to share gifts of food, and to celebrate with great joy, because they had heard God's word and understood them. Thank you, Lord Father God, for this day, Lord Father God, that you humble us and give us wisdom and focus on you, Lord Father God, on the word you have for today for us, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Today, last week we opened up Nehemiah with everybody gathered together for church service in remembrance of him. So now, if you notice, in Nehemiah 8, the opening verse, it says, Then Nehemiah, the governor, now he's a governor, right? He used to be a cupbearer, he used to be a wall builder, now he's a governor. He's been promoted up, okay? And that's how God promotes his servants. We don't look to be promoted, but we are given more work in the kingdom, so we surface to the top. That's how it goes. It says here, I was watching a show. I'm going to see if you guys can pick this up. I heard it say, when you start something from the bottom, everything works up. Okay? So when you start something in the bottom, the way the bottom, the foundation is structured, the way how it's solid, it's either sand or rock. If it's sand, it'll build up, but there's no structure, and it'll eventually fall, break away again. But if you stick to building that solid foundation, and when God says it's strong, then you build up the next layer, then the next layer, then the next layer. See, when people who build stuff on sand, they hurry, but there's no structure, right? There's no thinking on the foundations. And Nehemiah, what he's been doing ever since chapter 1, ever since he's been sent out, he's been building every brick. Every brick was placed. Now, if you notice, nobody said anything in this text saying, we build a gate, we build more mortar for the bricks. God made sure that no brick was missing, that every brick that was fallen remained where they fell. God provides that way. God is saying, I'm there. I've given you the person you need. I've given you the help you need, but you don't recall me. You don't remember me. You don't remember my faithfulness. It's all there. That's what Nehemiah, every brick that needed to be built, that wall, every stone, every gate, every bar, every hinge was there, present. They didn't have to remanufacture anything. All they needed, God needed, was people to lay it back up on the thing. And that's what we've been doing for the past 10 months. Today is October 1st. So, it says, when you start something from the bottom, everything works up. Okay? We are here. We are here now on the 6th year, going on our 7th. I brought up, there's a scripture in Exodus 4, in Exodus saying, on the 6th year you will work. The first 6th year you will work. On the 7th you will rest. For that year you will bring people to the church, and you will minister to them, and you will build them up, and you will send them away. That's what it says about the 7th year. We're here. The wall has been built. Right? Father, may I decrease and you increase. I like what Lorenzo said. The people that God uses will take them to the valley before they take them up to the mountain. He can't take them up to the mountain because His glory, they just don't get it. Here's what I'm trying to tell you guys. When we go to service, dedicate those hours of service. Leave your bills at home. Leave your things you got to do for the week at home. Concentrate on the 2 hours. Because this is what the text is about. Check this out. Then Nehemiah the governor, Ezra, and then Nehemiah the governor, and then there's the priest, Ezra, and the teacher of the law, and the Levites who were instructing people, said to them all, This day is holy to the Lord your God. Do not mourn or weep. For all the people had been weeping as they listened to the words of the law. All right, now check this out. Check this out. Let's see. Look at who God uses. Last week we talked, people gathered for the service. Now we're going into preaching. Ezra, the preacher, the priest. Ezra, the priest, and the teacher of the law. And the Levites, that's the staff. That's the people that God says you will be the priesthood. See how God lines it up? There's a person who sets the vision and gets it done. And then, now, if Nehemiah was not listening to God, as governor, I will preach too. But he gave to the side and said, let God's people now minister. I took care of the wall. I took care of the people. You will take care of their hearts. That is your function. That is your purpose. Everybody must have a purpose. You know why? Because God has a purpose in everybody. You guys follow me? People walk around in church and they have no purpose. You have a purpose. You just haven't claimed it. So Ezra, the priest, the teacher, and the Levites, who were priests, instructing the people, said to them all, "This is a holy to the Lord your God. Do not mourn or weep, for the people have been weeping as they listen to the words of the law." Why were they weeping? Why were they mourning? The wall is built. They're safe. Why were they weeping and mourning? You should be happy, yeah? Woo-hoo. Yeah. Build a skateboard park over there. Put a racetrack over there. They should be happy planning, right? But they're weeping and mourning. Why? They were convicted. They were taken to the valley. Now check this out. Three ways that I'm going to call, there's many more ways that God, but three ways that I know of how He called me and made me weep and mourn. First, affliction. These are the three ways that God will turn you back to Him. First, affliction. Second, release you to the devil. Third, bless you. Affliction, Psalms 34:2. I will glory in the Lord. Let the afflicted hear and rejoice. Wow. The afflicted, those in struggle, hear and rejoice. How am I going to rejoice once I hear I'm afflicted? Right? Psalms 116:10. I trusted in the Lord when I said, I am greatly afflicted. Wow. Psalms 119:6. Before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now I obey your word. Affliction is this. Lord, I don't know what's going on, but this is so screwed up. I lost my job. I'm going through this up and down with my marriage. The key there is he says, Lord, I'm going through this struggle. That's the afflicted. The ones who says, forget this, I'm going to get a divorce, forget that, I hate this business, I'm going to get out of it, I'm not even going to try. Those are not the afflicted. Those are the lost. They're not asking anything from the Lord. Jesus Christ says, till now you have not asked of anything. Ask and I shall give you. That's the afflicted. The afflicted is in prayer, deeper prayer with the Lord. It is the believer that's about to be given a great purpose in life. It is the believer that is about to be given a family to minister to. It is the believer who is about to be given an opportunity to save a life, a marriage, encourage someone in the valley. He will build you up, but He will build you down first. He will take you down. Isn't that what the Marine Corps does? You will come in and they will rip you wide open to take everything that you have taught yourself. And then once it gets down to the base, then they start to build back up. That's why there's those boot camps. I remember when Andrew first came in, and then when we picked him up. Why is he like that? Well, we're not allowed to smile. It totally changed. He was like this, it was like totally changed. Totally changed. And then I remember my brother, he goes into the Air Force, and he's jogging before he goes into boot camp, he's doing this, he's doing pull-ups, and then he gets into the Air Force. And we get the chance to talk. He goes, hey, how's boot camp? He goes, bro, it's optional that I think I'll run today. I said, what, you train for nothing? He goes, no, I'm an officer. I'm coming in as an officer. And I will do more classes. I said, so you wasted all those pull-ups? He goes, yup. Totally different. See, with my brother, he was broken up. He had to go through the schools first, the 4 years and stuff like that. And then he came in. But others will go right in straight up. And they get broken down. It is the way life happens. It is the way God does it too. Right? So that's one, affliction. What I always say to the Joshuas, the reason why it's so powerful, the ministry, is because every Joshua has been afflicted. Did you know that? Every Joshua has had prayer with God, asking in need. That's what's so awesome about the ministry. And we're starting our third chain, so we're bringing in some stuff and we're reeling it in so we could go out into these conferences and start the conferences for all the men. The second is release to the enemy. Ezekiel 23:28. For this is what the sovereign Lord says, I will surely hand you over to your enemies, to those you loathe, those you rejected. Wow. Remember the story with Job? One day the members of the heavenly court came to present themselves before the Lord and accuse him. Satan came with them. Where have you come from? The Lord asked Satan. Satan answered to the Lord, I have been patrolling the earth, watching everything that's going on. Then the Lord asked Satan, have you noticed my servant Job? He is the finest man in all the earth. He is blameless, a man of complete integrity. He fears God and stays away from evil. Satan replied to the Lord, yes, but Job has good reason to fear God. You have always put a wall of protection around him and his home and his property. You have made him prosper in everything he does. Look how rich he is. But reach out and take away everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face. All right, you may test him, the Lord said to Satan. Do whatever you want with everything he possessed, but don't harm him physically. So Satan left the Lord's presence. What's that about? Now, if you know the story of Job, he lost all his family. He lost all his belongings. He even got sores. But he never cursed God. At the very end, whatever he lost was doubled. He had beautiful children again. All his cattle was doubled. All his camels doubled. Sheep doubled. Everything doubled. Because, check this out. God says he is blameless. He said, now this is not Jesus talking. This is God, the Almighty Father, the Creator, the one who knows from this day and that day, the Alpha and the Omega. He sees Job. He sees that guy's blameless. He is righteous. For God to tell that to somebody, it says, I see him righteous in the past, I see him righteous and blameless in the present, and I will see him in the future as righteous and blameless. Right? So, what I always say, when you're going through struggles, affliction, and when you're thrown into the enemy, sometimes it's not your choosing. Sometimes you haven't done nothing. Sometimes you just say, oh, why am I doing this? I've done everything. And, I've been to Bible study, I go to church, I pray, I read the Bible. Why is this happening to me? Why is it happening to you, church? Why?
There's several ways. You could be away from God, so he's calling you back. Second one, you need to go some place, and the affliction and the trial causes you to divert where you're going and get you to the place where you need to be.
Exactly. Let me show a demonstration. Great. I need a good actor, man. No, come here. I know you're